tonight, Party Pundits, we got a little special, pre-Thanksgiving gift for y'all. We want to introduce this is our second ever guest that we've had on the Pop Talk series. This is a man who is world renowned in the world of boxing, former NABO, NABA, WBO Intercontinental Middleweight Champion, and a two-time world title challenger. We want to give it up for a man who amassed a record of 24 wins against only 3 losses. My man, Willie Mongoose Monroe Jr. Yeah. We appreciate having you with us tonight. This is really an honor for the pundits. So we're gonna jump right into. We know that your time is valuable, especially around the holidays. Everybody's visiting family. So I'm gonna let my man Boston Jared. He's gonna pop it off with our first question of the night.
So Will, thanks for being with us. So let's start off with what have you been up to since 2019, man? June of 2019, the last time we saw you in the ring was against Hugo Centeno Jr. You had a 10-round unanimous decision, and we haven't seen you since, man. What have you been up to? Are you still an active fighter? Are you retired? BoxRec has you as inactive, for whatever that's worth. But what have you been up to?
Well, yeah, I guess I have been inactive, but I took some time to really step into some other parts of life to make sure my exit strategy from boxing is solidified. And I grabbed a few professional financial licenses, and I've helped a few fighters get their investments and their financials together, because boxing is one of those sports where you could be on top making money today and nobody knows about you tomorrow. So I went ahead and educated myself. Me and my wife, we both went and got a license for a life and annuities, and then she just shot up the branch. She went and got her Series 6, her 26, her 63, and now she's an advisor. So she has the same license that Al Heyman has. I'm working my way up the other side of the branch on state and mortgage. But yeah, that's what I've been doing to really get out there, jump into that world and educate myself. Because number one, you need an exit strategy, and that was my exit strategy as far like real estate. But now I'm officially in the business, and fighters with being a little bit more of their finance, where to put their money while they're making. Because we all know that old story of fighters in there.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned that another Philadelphia fighter, and you did fight out of Philly, correct?
No, I'm out of upstate
New York. Yeah, he's from
out of Rochester. Okay, all right.
Rochester.
I was gonna say okay. I was gonna mention the fact that J-Rock is another guy who I believe has followed that kind of same outside of boxing, pursuing the outside the ring endeavors, getting into real estate, getting into annuities and stuff like that. I wasn't sure if you and him were cool, or if he influenced you to pursue that line of work outside of the ring or not.
I mean, I can't say that I can't even say I've ever spoke to him, but I know who he is.
Okay.
Yeah, like-minded people think alike. I mean, I think that's great that he's doing it. I think other fighters should probably key in, because we have when we have these big fights, we have power by making that type of money, and we will need to put it somewhere to make sure it doesn't dissipate.
That's a great point. So I also want to just kind of go back to Boston Jared's questions and stuff, because like I said, you haven't been in the ring since 2019, but you were on a good winning streak, get some good challengers. But do you want to have Pop Talk be the platform where you officially announce your retirement, or is this something that is still that you're still contemplating at this moment?
Retirement isn't in my mind, because you have to look at the fact that I've only had 27 professional fights over this long time, so I've had a few layoffs, which has allowed me to preserve myself. Yeah. I'm looking forward to fighting. I want at least hopefully another few more years of this, but we'll see what comes. But as of now, I'm not looking forward for it.
Very good.
So Will, real quick, dovetailing off of that, who are you aligned with promotionally, man? Looking over your BoxRec, man, you've had the opportunity to fight the full spectrum of guys. I've seen you. You've been in there with PBC guys. You fought, I believe, Frank Warren guys. I believe Billy Joe Saunders was aligned with Queensberry at the time when you fought him. You fought Golovkin. Who are you aligned with promotionally right now, if anybody?
Moment, no one. I'm fully clean across the board. I just wanted to give myself that independence. That's how I ran my whole career from the beginning. I was never really had that big guy or that big promotional arm behind. I funded my own career by working jobs and just going and fighting guys that I wasn't supposed to beat and building my record that way rather than doing it the conventional way because I just wanted to keep control of what I was doing. I wanted to be able to the boxing business is ran a lot like the music. You know what I mean? I wanted to more or less keep my independence. When I want to say I'm gonna walk away from this, I'll walk away from it. If I say I want to keep going, but as of right now, I'm clear across the board. No promotional contract, no contract. I'm just surveying the landscape.
So can you talk a little bit about what it's like being a promotional free agent? And we'll transition from that into some of the more current events in boxing right now, specifically a guy like Terrence Crawford, who recently became a promotional free agent. A guy who I'm familiar with, Demetrius Andrade, another promotional free agent. Both guys who, especially with Demetrius, who's had a tough time getting fights now that they're promotional free agents. Can you talk about what that's like? Is it easier being a promotional free agent? Is it harder? What is that like?
It depends on how you handle your business. For me, it's easier because I'm just, like I said, I'll come back when I want. You know what I mean? I live in shape. Also, I have a personal trainer's license, so I have a few clients that I train. So that keeps me in shape. I train with my clients. And it all depends on how you play your cards. What do you have going on like outside of the ring? If boxing is your main bread and butter, being a free agent and not being able to be in there with a promoter that makes someone fight you, it could be tough because you don't have someone like Boo Boo he needs leverage because he's such a good fighter. He's undefeated. He's very powers. He's great in every area, but these guys can easily duck him. So it's hard to get, for him to be a little tougher. But for someone like me, I only have 6 knockouts, so they'll say, "Oh, he doesn't have power." We'll see when we get in the ring. But I have a little selling point where they'll actually maybe, split at him and say, "Okay, I might take this." But for someone like Brady with his record and how great he is, it's kind of disheartening to see him not fight against the guys like CHARLO, and he had to go up to another way to get these big fights because he was at 54, couldn't get big fights. When he was supposed to be, couldn't get the big fights. Then now he has to go up to 168. He's not more of a natural 54, 60. So why should they have to go up to 168? I wish someone would actually get in there and like really push him to get a fight because he's a phenomenal fighter.
Yeah. Will, do you have your thumb covering the mic? You keep cutting out.
Okay, I could be. I'm trying to make sure. I'm in the bathroom.
Yeah,
my sister.
So no worries.
So what? Yeah, so Will, what is that like? Let's say Will, man. This will be my last question. I know the pundits want to jump in. My last question will be, what is it? So you, Will Monroe, you want to get a fight. CHARLO been sitting around for about 2 years now. You've been off for a long time. Let's say you and CHARLO want to finish unfinished business. You want to get in the ring with CHARLO. Does Will Monroe pick up the phone and call Al Heyman? Or do you call Sam Watson? How does that work?
I don't know because I don't think CHARLO wants to fight me. I think CHARLO, like somebody like me or Demetrius Andrade, I don't think he's not very good with southpaws. He's not very good with lefties, especially tricky lefties, and he'll look bad at best. So I really can't say that he would want to fight me. But if he did want to fight me, that's something I would jump to immediately. The business would have to be right. I mean, you guys see what's going on with Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. You guys see that the business side of it. Al is going to make sure his guy is in a super win position. And, I'm not one of Al's guys at the moment, So the business would definitely have to be right, but that's not a fight I would shy away from. It's definitely a fight I would jump to immediately.
So you just call Al Heyman? Is that how that works?
I don't have Al Heyman's number, but if one of you guys got it, call him.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
No, we're gonna put that out as the headliner. You know, Willie Monroe calls out CHARLO, so we'll go ahead and get that on the radar. Go ahead, the casual Red.
Hey, so you mentioned your background as a personal trainer. You doing that a little bit at work to stay in shape and everything. I was just looking at the amazement that you stayed at the middleweight division like your whole career, 10 plus years. When you see other fighters are like moving up or saying that their body's getting too big to stay in the weight class, what was your motivation just to stay at middleweight and keep contending at 160?
I live in the gym. I just love being in the gym. I'm a gym rat. You know, actually, I'm a gym cat. We eat the gym rat. Love being in the gym. That's a place where I can just go and free my mind and truly be myself, get the music going. And sometimes I don't even train with music. You know, that's my time to truly be with God when I'm in the gym. So if I can go into the gym and find a quiet moment like out here where I'm at with my sister, she has a phenomenal gym out here where she lives, and I don't even use music. I just go in there late night and get my nice little workout in by myself and just spend that time with God. That's truly a time for me to be alone and recalibrate and digress from all of the information I've taken in from the day. Being in shape is just something I love to do. If I wasn't a fighter, I'd still be in shape.
What is your walking around weight?
My walking around weight right now about 178, 180.
Okay.
Yeah, I've gotten a little bigger.
Yeah, I saw that on BoxRec, it had you listed as a super middle, and like you've never fought above the middleweight division. Like, do you know why they would have you listed as that?
Well, a couple times I fought I didn't come in at 161, but you know, the guys wanted the contract at 160 plus one or 160 plus two. I always come in at a sharp 159, 158 and some change, but I'm just like, whatever we got to do to get the fight going. I guess because I fought opponents above 160. The contract was at 162, so it put me in the super middleweight division, but definitely a middleweight.
Yeah, and officially the two fights before Citano were above 100, but your last fight was at middleweight officially. All right, Coach Day, I think you had a question for him.
Man, yeah, hey, Square. So look, man, I want to just pull on your knowledge a little bit, man, and just ask, like, looking back in the old days, man. I mean, when guys was fighting just because they loved to fight. I mean, you know, you had Hagler and Hearns happen. You had, you know, Leonard and all those guys. I would like to get your take, man, as a fighter. Why do you think it's simply so hard, man, to make the big fights nowadays, man? You kind of touched on a little bit about being independent, but any other meat you want to put onto that, man? Because everybody got their excuses about why it doesn't happen. But man, I just like to hear from you, you know, somebody very, very relevant in the game, brother.
Well, like I said before, boxing is ran like the music industry. So, you know, the fighters don't have as much control as people would think. These fighters aren't scared of each other. Like, you know, some fighters may be like, I don't want to fight that guy. Or if you've been in camp with a guy and spar with a certain guy, or word has gotten around how good you've done in camp with another guy, they may be like, that may not be a fight I want to take. But 9 times out of 10, fighters aren't scared of each other. It's the promotion. It's the promotional arms and the advisors and the managers behind them, because boxing is like the wild, wild west. You know, if you look at football, basketball, baseball, it's one league. You know, if you look at even the UFC, that's one company up under Dana White. It isn't a bunch of different promoters. Dana White is the sole promoter. And boxing, so many different promoters that are connected to so many different networks. And they feel that if my guy loses, I'm going to lose power with the network, which means I'm going to lose money. So I want to make sure I put my guy in the right position to make sure he wins. And then you're dealing with another promoter that's like, no, I want to make sure my fighter's in the right position to make sure he wins. So it becomes a battle, a dual battle of the people who are running the sport rather than the fighters. And then it's looked as if the fighters are the ones who don't want to fight each other, when in all reality, the fighters will fight each other any day. Like if you look at somebody like myself, or you look at, and not to put myself in these guys' category, but I grew up, you know, me and Terrence Crawford both lost in the same Olympic qualifying tournament. You know, all of these guys, Terrence Crawford, you look at Errol Spence, you look at Demetrius Andrade, you look at all of these guys, when we came up in the amateurs, with the tournaments that you couldn't pick and choose who you fought. You had to fight the next best guy, whoever it was, and competition was very high. So guys that come out of competition like that, we're not scared to fight anybody. It's the promotional arms that are behind us, and then the money being tagged on, the money being taken away, and they use the money to play the game. Like, all right, like I wanted to fight CHARLO early in my career at 54. I wanted to fight him, and the price that the manager I was working with at the time, the price that they gave, I'm like, I'm not about to fight that dude for that, for that bit of money. But that was their way of saying no. So they won't say, no, we don't want to fight you. They'll just offer you some BS money they know you're not going to take. And then they'll be like, well, we offered him and he didn't. It's like, come on, man, you know what you offer me. Like you offer me club money to fight. Like you got a name. Like don't offer me, 10 grand to fight you when when we know what's being made. You get what I'm saying? So they play like that. They offer, money that isn't conducive to the fight. Situations. There's so many different games that are played, man, from anything from the size of the ring to the padding of the ring, what type of gloves you get to wear. These are all little nuances that are played with to have different advantages. I just did an interview. Well, I just posted an interview from 2016 because, they were asking me about, this is back when that whole debacle about Golovkin's gloves and was his gloves smaller or whatever. And I never said his gloves were smaller, but I retweeted a tweet from someone else who, another big name person in the boxing game who was like, his gloves looked a little small, and everybody came down on me like I was being a sore loser. I'm like, whoa, wait, I just retweeted a tweet. I didn't say this. And, I gave them I gave them a comparison. I'm like, and if you work at McDonald's and you may be like, the boss isn't giving me enough hours. He's giving him more hours than me. He doesn't like me. Like if politics exists on a level with a 9 to 5 and minimum wage, what makes you think it doesn't exist on a level where we're talking millions and billions of dollars with start? You know what I mean? You're not going to put that much money into one individual and then not make sure they have some type of advantage or somewhere. So, the political game, I tell people this all the time, like, that's why boxing has a red and a blue corner. It's politics. You know what I'm saying? It's strictly politics.
Yeah, no doubt, man. See, bro, that means a lot coming from you, bro, because I just know you and I know your integrity, brother, and how you are definitely always on the level, brother. So that means a lot, man. And I guess the last thing for me, brother, honestly, man, is just coming from a coaching angle, man. You know what I mean? So been coaching for the longest time and training myself, right, but never above learning. Bro, you one of the slickest jokers in that ring, man. So what I honestly, from the bottom of my heart, man, the depths of my soul, what I'm asking, bro, is like, what do you do to really, we got the basic footwork drills and the ladder and the stuff that we can do in the gym, right, to really, really slick and moving, man, and with the angles and that footwork that you got. But what is it, man, that you do, be it to a coach that's just working with some other fighters, like, hey, try this and that, man, to help these guys be as elusive as you are, man. I love to hear that from you, Square, really.
Absolutely. So, my background, my grandfather's Afro-Cuban. So, if you think about, Cuban fighters, everything starts from the feet up. So we dance, you check, I'm a dancer. I had an R&B group together for a few years. So we really did the whole dance thing. We danced salsa. So your hands work with your feet work with your hands. So I do a lot of things to music and try to catch the beat and, and just be creative. Everything is a creative motion. You know what I mean? It's take the basics and then be creative with it. We all know the basics, step forward, step backs, right, lateral movement. But you throw a little extra step in there and then you get your upper body working with it. You just be more elusive up top. Don't be so, some guys are like, everything, they want power, so they're tight. You know what I mean? The thing is to be loose, have fun, get it. When I'm in the ring and I shadow box. Sometimes I won't even put a timer on. I'll just shadow box a whole 30 minutes to salsa music. And I'll be doing salsa moves and everything and it'll give me creative things on how to come up with certain punches, certain angles. And once you get to moving in that direction and moving in fluently like that, it just comes natural. But it's got to be something you work on every day and just have fun.
Right. Well, man, I appreciate that, Square, man. I'm gonna pass it over. But bro, on the other side of the holidays, if you ever get a chance, bro, and I can just get to where you at and just kind of sit at y'all feet, man, and watch what y'all do, man. I love that, bro. If ever, bro.
I'll make sure you have my number, don't you? We exchange numbers.
Yeah, we switched numbers. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely, man.
All right. Monroe, let me jump in real quick.
Go ahead.
Behind me, right, you see that's the famous picture of El Trinidad, Felix Trinidad, when he fought William Joppy, right? And then after that, he fought Bernard Hopkins, for the undisputed. And then, that brings me back to the days when there was this kind of, one champion. Then, of course, Jermaine Taylor was able to, and it's controversy that, this couple of split decisions over Bernard Hopkins. But thinking back to that, what are your thoughts on just the fractured state of the middleweight division now, and how these top guys are simply not fighting each other? And and even with that said, like, where do you kind of see yourself in there? Because looking at it, we have the IBF champion is recognized as Triple G. The WBC champion is recognized as Jamal Charlo. WBA is also Triple G. And then, but he's a super champion, whatever that means. And then the regular champion is Rolanda Lara. So what are your thoughts on just kind of of this fractured state of the middleweight division?
I'm glad you have that picture up, because that picture is a fight from when they did a middleweight division to get there. I mean, a middleweight tournament to get down to that.
Absolutely.
I remember watching that as a kid. I had to be like maybe 12, 13 years old. I remember watching that. And I was about 14, because I remember that the fight with him and Bernard Hopkins happened right around 9/11. That was my freshman year in high school, about 13, 14 when this happened. But I think they need to do that. I think if the sanctioning bodies actually got together and just said, you know what, we're going to do something for boxing, and not be greedy with the money, and just let's split it evenly and create a one champion in each weight class by tournament. Take all of the guys that have belts, and take a few other top guys, because it's only 4 belts. So take a few guys and create a tournament. And I think you can get excitement like that. I fought the Boxino tournament. One of my favorite fighters, Andre Ward.
You actually won the Boxino. Yeah, you being humble. You actually the ESPN tournament. Yeah, so.
And the Super 6 that happened with Andre Ward, I mean, that tournament truly showed people how great Andre Ward was. I'll give you some texture on it really quick. Andre Ward is one of my favorite fighters, and he was getting ready to fight Shelby Pudwill right before the tournament started. And a friend of mine was out in Oakland, and he called me. He was in his gym, and I told Andre Ward, I said, look, I know everybody's counting you out, but like, I think you're going to win the whole tournament. I think you're going to sweep everybody. He was real humble about it. Appreciate that, brother. You know how he talks. He's real humble. And sure enough, he won the whole tournament. So I think tournaments like that bring excitement. They bring, and you don't know what's going to happen, because you automatically think this guy's going to win because he fights this way, or this guy has this much power. He has this many knockouts. This guy is slick. And you'll get a champion out of it that nobody thought was going to be a champion because of the way it's arranged, or because of who gets beaten the first or second round. So I think a tournament like that should be set up in the middleweight division. I think they should get Demetrius, Andre, myself, Charlo. If Triple G's a little older, and I don't know if he would want to jump into a tournament like that, get Adeslande Lara, what's the other guy, the Kazakhstan guy, the WBO middleweight champion?
Janbek Alim Khanullah.
Yeah, why don't they get him and get why don't they get the 4 champions and then grab 4 guys that are just top but not champions, and create an 8-man tournament, single elimination, and then bring it all down to one belt. I mean, one guy.
I would love to see that. And you actually make stars from that. I mean, even though Andre Ward was up there, but he was able to come from that and to really put him on everybody's radar. And then that tournament that they had, that's what really made Bernard Hopkins a star from there. When he stopped Felix Trinidad, he was a star after that. And he was able to go on and fight people like Oscar De La Hoya, just really solidified his status. Remember to like and subscribe. Make sure that you comment too. We appreciate the love and we appreciate the hate on there. It's all good for conversation. And we will try to get, to respond to most of y'all, but
I will. I definitely will.
Yeah. Boston Jared definitely will. So this is my man. This is Professor Nim signing out for the Casual Rand.
Peace.
Coach Dave and Boston Jared.
Peace. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Hey.